Hey guys, welcome to day 10 of our 15 days to Spring Boot Mastery Challenge. Today, let us learn how to query the database from a Spring Boot application. This is a continuation of day 9's challenge. In day 9, we have learned how to perform CRUD operation in a Spring Boot application using MySQL database. If you have bumped into this video directly, then please watch the previous video and proceed further because this is a continuation. I hope your learning is going on well. Now let us get started. When I say that we are querying the database from a Spring Boot application, there are different ways of querying. They are categorized as derived queries, custom queries, native query, named native query. Among that, we will discuss about these 4 types of queries in our video. Okay. What is a derived query? Derived queries are queries which are derived from properties. That is the instance variables of the model class. Custom queries. In case of custom query, we will be using JPQL, JPA persistence query language, where the query will be written using the entity classes. Next one is native query. This is the normal SQL query that you use when you are working with the database. Next one is named queries. Named queries are also written using JPQL. But here the queries will be written in the model class and given a name. Once you have a name for your query, this query can be called in any repository. The last one is named native query. We will not be seeing this. What is the difference between named query and named native query? In case of named query, we will be using JPQL. In case of named native query, we will be using the normal SQL query. Okay, now let us start the coding. Let me open Spring Toolsuit. Okay, guys, we have completed the CRUD operations with the database. The next process is to query the database. For that, we will be working with different types of queries. To call or to use the queries, we need methods. We need to add these methods in iProduct service. So, let us have 2 methods for each type of queries which will be written in iProduct repository. This time, we have to write the methods in iProduct repository. Okay, let us first understand the type of queries. I can have the queries for product as get by brand, get by category, get by name containing, get by price less than and so on. What will be the return type? The return type will be a list of product. In our case, product is an entity class. This means it is related to the database. When the data is coming from the database, I will be getting a list of product entities. I cannot use the entity class and return that data to the client. I need to have an intermediate class which is called as data transfer object. So, you need to create a class similar to the entity class. In our case, we are supposed to create product DTO class which will be similar to product class. Okay, what about the properties? The DTO class can have either all the properties of product class or can have minimal properties that is required by the calling class. Let me explain this. We are working with a standalone application. So, I have a client. From the client, I call iProduct service. Internally, we are ending in product service IMPL. From product service IMPL connecting to iProducts repository. This product repository is connecting to the database, performing the operation and returning a list of products. So, I am having list of product. Okay. When I have to send this particular data to the client, I cannot send the list of product entities. What I need to do is, I have to convert my product entity into a product DTO object. DTO means data transfer object. So somewhere in the service layer, I need to perform this operation. Guys, remember, this is a layered architecture. When you are working in projects, you will be using layered architecture only. The repository's purpose is just to connect to the database and perform database specific operations. The purpose of the service layer is to take care of the business logic, handle exceptions, and to do certain conversions. So, the conversion of product entity into product DTO can be done in the service layer. Okay. Now you might be wondering, in the previous application, we explicitly created an object of product entity and we called add product method. To make it very clear, that is not the right approach. You need to create an object of product DTO only. And you have to pass DTO object only. Add product DTO object only. And in the service layer, you have to convert your DTO into entity object and then save the entity object. This is the procedure. Let me put it in simple terms. That is, from the client, you take a DTO object, send it to the service layer. If you want to insert or update or delete, then in all these scenarios, you get the DTO object, convert it into entity and then perform the operation. That is called save method or delete by ID. Okay. This is for the first path. The second path is I am getting a list of products. So in this case, I am getting an entity. In the service layer, I need to convert my entity into a DTO object. So you will be converting your list of product into list of DTO object and then you have to return the list of DTO to the client. In our case, this is a standalone application. So I will be returning the data to the main class. If we are working with a web application, we will be returning the data to a controller class. If we are working with a REST API, we will be returning the data to a REST controller class. Okay. What will be there in the DTO class? The DTO class will be similar to your entity class, but it will not have any annotations that are relevant to or specific to the database. That is no at entity, at column, at ID, at generated value. Of course, it can have Lombard specific annotations. I can either have all the instance variables or specific instance variable that is requested by the client. Based on that, we will have to create it. Okay. What is that we are going to do in this video? Let me explain. First, let us create a DTO class. Next, we need to add methods in iProduct service. In this, we will have two methods each for one type of querying. That is two methods for custom querying, two methods for derived queries, two methods for native query and so on. Next, we need to implement the method in product service IMPL. What is coming from the database is list of product. So, I need to convert the list of product into product DTO and then return it to the main class. It means we need to perform some conversion from product to product DTO. And guys, in yesterday's session, we have used add product, update product, delete product. Now what is that? The data that is coming from the client class will be in the form of DTO. I need to convert the DTO into product and send it to the backend, correct? So, to perform all these operations, we need a separate class. I cannot write the code repetitively in each and every method. So, we can create a separate class which is product mapper. In the mapper class, let us have two methods. One method is to convert the product to DTO. So, the input will be product object. The return type will be product DTO. Product DTO is just a model class, okay, with all the properties or few properties. Next, I will have another method, convert to entity, where I will pass the product DTO object and convert it back into product. Okay. So, when the data is coming from the client and I have to send it to the service layer, I will be using this method. The second method, that is in add product, update product, delete product. Of course, in delete product we are passing only product ID. So, in case of add and update, I will get the product DTO object, convert it into product and then call save method. Now come to the next one, convert to DTO. When the data is coming from the back end, it is list of product, I have to convert it into a DTO object and send it to the client. So, for all the querying, we need to use this one, get all products, get by brand, get by category, get by name, and for all the type of querying. Okay, what about get by ID? Get by ID is returning one product. Now when I have to send it to the client, I need to convert it into one single product DTO. So it means for get by ID also you are going to use convert to DTO only. For any type of querying the database, use the first method for conversion. Remember, when you are querying the database, you are getting list of entities, convert it into list of DTOs, send it to the client. If you want to perform some operation in the database like insertion and updation, get the DTO, convert it into entity and send it to the database. Okay. Do not worry, we will do it step by step. While doing it itself, you will understand the flow. Now let us start with the DTO class. Select your model package, right click, new class. Class name is product DTO. This class has all the instance variables same as that of the product class. But remember, I need to remove all the annotations. Change the constructor to product DTO. And of course, we need to add Lombard specific annotations. That is at no args constructor, all args constructor and at data. Okay, let me give shift control O to remove the unwanted inputs. Okay, this class is done. What is the next step? We need to add methods in iProduct service. Open iProduct service. As we discussed, we will have two methods for each type of querying. The first one is derived queries. Let us have the method as get by brand, string brand. The return type is not a list of product. I want it as a list of product DTO. The purpose of this method is get the list of products where the brand is this. Now let us add one more method. Get by brand name contains. The meaning of this method is get the list of products where the name contains a particular word and the brand is this. For example, get the list of products where the name has ball and the brand is Nivea, or get the list of products where the name contains speaker and the brand is Samsung. So the product name should have a particular word. So like that I have written this code. Next is custom query. So for that, let me add a similar method. I am showing one simple method and one complicated method. Get by category. So let me have the method name as get by cat. And the next one, get by brand and price less than. Here I need to change it to category. Here I need to add the second parameter as price. This is for custom query. Next, let us have for native query. Let me add the method as get by lesser price. Get the list of products where the price is less than a particular value. Guys, this is for understanding purpose. I will not get all the products where the price is lesser than a particular value. I have a particular product. For that product, I want to get the price range, correct? So if you are going and searching for mobiles and the brand Samsung, there you will check for the price. Here, just for understanding the different types of queries, I am adding it. And let me also have one more method for native query. Get by category and name contains. I need to pass the second parameter as string product name. In line number 19 also I have missed the second parameter, I have added it. Okay. And the last one is named query. I will have a similar method like get by brand, get products by brand and pass brand. And let me also add one more method, get by category and price less than. So the first parameter is category. Okay, we have added 8 methods, 2 for each type of query. Together with that, we are also having one more category which is called as named native query. I am not going into that now. Let us import product DTO, go to product service IMPL and we need to implement all the methods. Keep the cursor in the class, add unimplemented methods. Now first, let us start with derived queries. For these two methods, we are supposed to write derived queries. Let me open iProduct repository. So what are derived queries? Derived queries are queries that are derived from the properties. And the syntax for derived query should start like this. Read by, get by, find by, followed by the property name. That is read by brand, get by brand, find by brand. Remember, the naming convention should be proper. Read B capital by followed by brand, as in read by B capital brand. When you give this method, internally the Spring Boot is supposed to provide the implementation. It will go in search of the brand property in the product class. Let me go to the product class. I do have a property with the name brand. Guys, remember, when you are creating the property names, that is the instance variable names, it should be either in lowercase or in camel case. You cannot have it in uppercase. Here if you are having it in uppercase and if you are trying to call read by brand or get by brand, it will not work because the moment you give brand, internally this variable is converted into a lowercase brand. Then it will go to the product class. It will check whether the product class is having a brand with lowercase and it will call the appropriate setter method to set the value and getter method to retrieve the data. So always remember your instance variable name should be proper. Okay, similar to this, I want to get the list of products by category. So how can I write a derived query? I can write it as find by category or read by category or get by category. Now what it will do? It will go in search of a property with the name category. Assume in the product class you have not given it as category, rather you have given it as cat. Will it work? No, it will not work because it is expecting a property with the name category only in your product class. If it is not available, the derived query cannot be converted into a proper SQL query. So you have to be extra careful in this. In this scenario, the application itself will not start. Guys, remember, if you are working with Java, if you have made some mistake in the backend database, the application will run till that part. Only in the final stage it will throw the exception. But in case of Spring, if the dependencies are not matched properly, or if your URL is wrong, or if your queries are wrong, your application itself will not start. It will throw the exception. Only after you have made the dependencies properly, your application will run successfully. This is like multiple chains linked together. In between, if one particular chain is not linked properly, then that whole connection itself is interrupted. In that case, your application will not start. So always ensure that the flow is proper, your queries are correct, then only you have to start your application. Okay, now let me change this to category. Okay, now we need to write derived query for these two methods. First, let me start with find by brand, and I need to pass string brand. The return type will be a list of product. Be very careful with the typos also. Okay. Now, let me show you the content assist. If you are working with IntelliJ or the latest version of Spring Toolsuit, just give control space after find by or read by or get by. There is also something called as count by. If I want to get the count of products by a particular brand, there is a method. Okay. Now see here, you can see the content assist and brand category all is there. Find by brand. If I want to get the list of products by brand and category, then the method will be find by brand, A capital and category. Then find by brand and name containing. So many different types of methods are there. We will see it from the spec. I will show you the spec also. See the methods. See, and also the assisting keywords, ignore case, is not, or, and, all these are available. You don't have to write the SQL query explicitly. Get the list of products by brand or price. Then you can give find by brand or price. Remember, the naming convention is very important when you are working with derived queries. Now for me, I want find by brand. I have the content assist. So let me press enter. Automatically it is returning me the list of products. Okay. First let us go to the browser. We will see the spec, then come back here again. Okay. In the browser, search for spring-jpa derived queries. Click on the first search result. Here I have JPA query methods. Click on it. Scroll down. If you notice, here there is a method. They have given an example. The domain model is user. The data type of the primary key is long. See the method name here. It is a derived query. Whatever names you are seeing here are nothing but the instance variables that are available in the user class. Email address, last name. They have used and also. Okay. Now let me scroll down more. Here you can see the different types of derived queries that you can create. These are the keywords: distinct, and, or, is, equals, between, and so on. Find by first name or last name. Select star from user where first name equal to question mark or last name equal to question mark. So there are so many different patterns of derived queries available. You are supposed to use only these type of patterns. Whatever you are seeing over here, this age, start date, they are all properties. Okay, fine. Now let me go back to Spring Toolsuit. Now let us write the derived query for the next method. In iProduct service, I have the method as get by brand name contain. So I will go here. Let me give the method as maybe this time read by brand and product name containing. Product name. After that there are so many keywords. So for me, I want to have containing or contains. This means, for example, my product name should have speaker as a part of the complete word. My product name should have ball as a part of the complete word. I hope this makes sense. Now for this, we will use the method as containing. Guys, if you are working with SQL, how will you write the SQL query? Select star from product where product name like percentage, ball percentage, percentage, speaker percentage. This is wildcard, pattern matching. I hope you all can understand. This is proper SQL, whatever I am telling. Okay. Now let me give it as containing or contains. Okay. And let me press enter. String, brand, comma, string product name. And what is the return type? It is not list of product DTO, it is list of product only. Okay, now my derived queries are ready. If you notice the second method, my derived query is way too big. So in these kind of scenarios, rather than using derived query, we can use custom queries where explicitly we will be writing the query using JPQL. Okay. First, let us call these two methods in product service IMPL. Let me minimize this. Here we need to write the code. Using product repository, I need to call the method find by brand. By passing brand, the return type is a list of product. Okay. What next? I need to convert my list of product into list of product DTO objects. As I told you, we cannot write the code in each and every method. Rather, we can create a class with two methods. That is, we are going to write this part now. We will create a product mapper class. Select the model package, right click, new class. Let me give the class name as product mapper. Okay. And first method is convert to DTO. This means it takes product as parameter. The return type is product DTO. And let me have it as a public method because it is in a different package. Here I need to first create a product DTO object. Get the values from the product object and call setter methods of product DTO to set the values. So first step is create a product DTO object. My object is ready. Next, get the values of product. As in, first I need to get the product name. Is equal to product dot get product name. Similarly, let me get the brand. String brand is equal to product dot get brand. Okay. After getting it, I need to set the values to product DTO. You might be wondering why is she not using a parameterized constructor? Guys, that is not the right approach. But if at all you want to do that, you are very well allowed to do that also. While creating the object itself, you can pass values as product.get product name, product.get brand and so on. I always prefer to write a clean code. I do not want to use a parameterized constructor. Okay. So, let me call the setter method of product DTO. Dot set brand as brand. Then product DTO dot set product name as product name. For the other properties, we will call it directly. Set category as product dot get category. Then product DTO dot set product ID as product dot get product ID. And the next one is price. Set price as product dot get price. All set now. Finally, return the product DTO object. Return product DTO. Okay. So, this method should be called while querying. That is, while getting data from DB. Here it is giving me an error. Let me change it to lowercase p. Similar to this, let us add the next method. Convert to entity. So it takes product DTO object as parameter. The return type is a product. Let me have the method as a public method. Okay. Now we need to create an object of product. Product is equal to new product. Then call the setter methods. Product dot set product name. Here using product DTO get the product name. Product DTO dot get product name. Similarly, let me do it for all the other properties also. I have set the values for all the properties, that is for all the instance variables. Now let us return the product object. and when you will call this while using add method and update method. Okay. Now let us go to product service IMPL. Let us discuss about the logic that we will use now. This logic can be written in two ways. One is using the legacy Java code. The other way is using Streams API. For this particular method, I will show you both the ways. Remaining methods, we will use Streams API. If you are doing it using legacy Java, what is the first step? You will get the products. Then iterate the list. Next, convert product object to product DTO object. Now we need to add the product DTO object to the temporary list. This means we need to have a temporary list also. Create a list of product DTO. Okay. Now let us get started. Get the products is done already. The next step is create a list of product DTO. List of product DTO. Product DTOs is equal to new array list. Then iterate through the product list. Use a for loop for each. Don't iterate through product DTO. It is empty. So we need to iterate through the product list. Products list. Correct? Okay. Convert product object into product DTO. This is what we are going to do inside the for loop. So for doing this, we need an object of product mapper. Correct? Just now we have created it, and I will create this product mapper as an instance variable in product service IMPL. Guys, you can have it as static method. You can call the static method in each and every method of product service IMPL. Because we are learning about few concepts of auto wiring, I have created it as normal methods, that is concrete methods. So that we will have this product mapper as a dependency for product service IMPL, and we will auto wire it. So let me create an instance of product mapper. Annotate it with that auto wire. And also remember to go to the product mapper class and annotate it with add component. All set and done. Let me go to product service IMPL. Here now let us call the method mapper dot convert to DTO by passing the product object. This returns me a product DTO object. Okay. The next step is add the DTO object to a temporary list. Product DTOs. The name might be confusing. Let me have it as product DTO list. Dot add product DTO. Okay, my product DTO list is ready. I can return it. Guys, always remember we need to handle the exception also in the service layer only. We will handle the exception. Already we have created product not found exception. One thing we need to do is let us go on add the exception in iProduct service methods. So in all these methods, let me add throws product not found exception. Let me add it in all the methods. These methods are throwing product not found exception. Go back to the service implementation. Check if the list is empty. If product DTO list is empty, then throw product not found exception. Pass a message also. Product with this brand not found. Right. Guys, this is using the legacy Java code. Now I want to do the same thing with Streams API. Going forward, for all the methods, I will use only Streams API. Okay, let me scroll down. Okay, what are the steps that we need to perform? The first step is, as usual, we need to get the list. We have done it already. Then convert the list into a string. Then call map method. This map method is an intermediate operation. It takes function as parameter. Function interface is used for converting a data of one type into a data of same type or another type. In this case, using the function interface, we will convert our product into product DTO. We will implement it using lambda expression. After the conversion, I will have a stream of product DTO objects. Then again I have to convert it back into a list. We will see the process. Call map method to convert product object to product DTO object. After this, convert a stream of product DTO objects into a list of product DTO objects using collect method. Okay. Now let us do this step by step. First is to convert to string. So it is products.string dot call map method. Map method is an intermediate operation. It takes function as parameter. Let us implement this using lambda expression. The input to a map method is product object. Now I need to convert the product object into product DTO. You know the method that has to be used. Okay. Mapper dot convert to DTO. Now what is coming out of this map method? One by one product DTO object in the form of stream. So this map method returns a stream of product DTO objects. Let me keep the cursor here. You can see stream of product DTO objects. I cannot read the stream of product DTO objects. So what should I do? I have to convert it into a list. For that, let us use the dot collect method. Guys, if you are still unclear about the Streams API, I would suggest you to watch my video on Streams API under 50 minutes. It will be really crystal clear to understand the basic concepts of Streams API together with how to implement it in real-time examples like this. Okay, dot collect, collectors dot to list. Now let us see the return type of this collect method. It is list of product DTO objects. Can you see this? Now let us get it in a list only. Product DTO list. Okay. Now guys, we don't need the first part. So I am going to comment that and we will work only with the second way using Streams API. Okay, just to differentiate, I have given all that decoration. Of course, we need to handle the exception. So I will cut it from there and I will add it here. And this logic also, you will be using it in multiple places. If you want, you can create a method for performing this particular operation also. We need a private method for this particular logic. So let me add a method. Private. The return type should be a list of product DTO. So it is product DTO convert to DTO list. This takes list of products, correct? Because we are getting it as a list of products. So let me copy this. The parameter is list of products. Now we are converting the products into a stream. Dot map, dot collect. Now it is getting converted into a list of product DTO objects and return product DTO list. Okay. Let me scroll up. For the first method, I will leave this implementation as such. From the second method, you can call this private implementation. Let us call the private implementation now. List of product DTO list is equal to convert to DTO list by passing this products. Okay. Again, as usual, you need to handle the exception also and return the DTO list. Fine. We have completed these two methods based on derived queries. Now let us go to the main class and first call these two methods. Okay. Guys, based on yesterday's final output, we are having only one single row in the database table. Now let me fill my product table with few rows. And you might be wondering, I told you guys that you are not supposed to use a parameterized constructor. But here I am using a parameterized constructor. How? Remember, this is a standalone application. When you are working with Spring Boot, you will be either creating it as web applications or REST APIs. In those scenarios, we don't need to use the main class at all. But here, just to understand the backend concepts, we are working it as a standalone application. So in this place alone, which is not having any relevance in the later on stages, you can use parameterized constructor, not in the real service layer or repository layer. Okay, let me add few rows for this particular application. Okay, I have created few products and called add product method, and finally I am trying to get the list of all products. Before running this application, just go and check in application.properties whether you are having it as update. Now let me go to the main class, running this. Let me maximize the console. Here I am getting the output. First the values are getting inserted. Then it is retrieving the list of all products. Let me go and check it over here. Select star from product. All set now. Here you can see a shift in ID because ID initially will be 1, then 50, 51, 52, 53. Then again if you are deleting something and adding, then it will become 152 like that. And it will again change. So what you need to do is, if you want to have a proper sequence, you need to use one other annotation called a sequence generator. Now, let us try the two methods for derived queries. Get by brand. Guys, remember to comment this also, or else again the products will be added continuously. Because we are not passing any ID, it will automatically generate the ID and add the method. Product service dot get by brand by passing brand. Let me give the brand name as Samsung. Dot for each. Then let me add the next method also. Get by brand name contains Samsung, comma, phone. The name should contain phone. Dot for each. I will comment this get all products also. Okay, now let me run it again. Maximize the console. Here we are getting the list of products by a particular brand, which is Samsung. Again getting the list of products by brand and name containing. I gave it as phones, so it is coming as earphones. Let me check the code first. We gave it as, okay, here I am having earphones and headphones, but they are of different brands. So that is the reason that I did not get the output. Do I have any common brands? Only two in Camelin. Maybe I can try with pencils. So I will give it as Camelin, comma, pen. I don't know from which side console is getting opened. So this time we are getting pencils and color pencils, which is of brand Camelin. Get the list of products where the brand is Camelin and the product name should have pen. Okay, that's what we have got. I am also having one more item as pen, but the brand is different, so that is not considered. So this is for derived queries. Now let us move on to custom query. First let me go to iProduct service. We are going to write custom query for these two methods. So let me just copy this. I will go to iProducts repository. I will have it over here. First let us understand what is custom query. Custom query uses JPQL, JPA persistence query language. In this case, you will be writing the query only using the entity class name and the properties of entity class. And what about the method name? The method name can be anything. In the previous scenario, the method name should follow a pattern as read by, get by, find by. In this case, the method name can be anything. To work with JPQL, the method should be annotated with @query. It should be annotated with @query. Okay. Remember, I don't need this exception. The return type should be list of product. For the second method also, it is list of product. If you notice, the first method is get by cat. The second method is get by brand price less than. Both these methods are not following derived query. Without doing any modification, let me run this application. We have not added any coding part in the service layer. We are not calling the methods also, but still I want to run it. Now let me maximize the console. You should get an exception. As I told you, if your query is not correct, your application itself will not start. We are already having two methods which are implemented properly. But still I am not getting any output of that. Why? Because it is trying to convert your method into a derived query. Get by cat. Do we have a property with the name cat? No. That is why it is giving an exception. See, error creating Spring Boot product application. Move it further. Error creating bean with product service IMPL. Move it further. Error creating bean with name product repository. Still move it further. In the end, it is saying could not create query for method get by brand price less than. No property price less found for type string. Okay, it is showing traversed path product and brand. What it is assuming, product is a class, brand is a class by itself, and it is trying to identify price less as a property which is not available. Okay, now again I will go back there. I will comment this and let me run it again. Let me maximize the console. I wanted to show you this also. No property cat found for type product. Okay, you might be wondering, we wrote this method first, but it is going to get by brand price less. Why? In alphabetical order. Get by brand, B capital, right? So it's going into brand, first method. That price less is not available, so it is throwing an exception. Again I gave it as get by cat, so it is going and searching for a property with the name cat which is not available, so it is throwing an exception. Unless your methods are proper, your application itself will not run. Okay, now let us annotate this method with @query. Import query. This import should be from JPA repository. Be very careful about it because there are so many @query annotations available. Within this, we will be writing JPQL. What is the equivalent SQL query for this? Select star from product where category equal to question mark. Here, we will be using the entity name as in from product P. P should be capital because this is the entity class name. If you are using SQL, you can write the query as select star from product where category equal to question mark. But in this case, we are writing it in terms of entity. So it should be from product. P should be in capital where P dot category. Again, this category is the instance variable name or your property name. You cannot give cat. Okay, and you should not use capital letter also. Equal to question mark 1. The moment I give, automatically it is showing the content assist also. See, this question mark represents the placeholder. Question mark 1 means it points to the first parameter. Similarly, let us write it for the second method also. @query from product P where P dot brand equal to question mark 1, and should I use price or cost? If you are writing it as an SQL query, the query will look like this. Select star from product where brand equal to question mark and cost equal to question mark, because the column name over here is cost, but the property name in our class is price. So if you are using JPQL, you need to use price. If you are using native SQL, you need to use cost. So in this case, it is P dot price equal to question mark 2. Question mark 1 represents the first parameter. Question mark 2 represents the second parameter. So these two are custom queries. Custom queries are written using JPQL. Here you need to use only the entity class name and the properties associated with the entity class name. Okay, when will you use custom query? When your derived query name is long, just like in the previous scenario, or if your entity classes are related, as in employee class is having a list of courses, employee class is having address as instance variable. In that scenario, we will be using custom queries. Okay, now let us call these two methods in product service IMPL. Next one is get by category. As usual, first get the list of products. Dot get by cat by passing category. The remaining lines are all same, so copy it. Remember to change the error message also. Here it is brand and name. Here it is category. Now we will do it for the next method also. I'll copy this whole thing and modify it. Dot get by brand price less than by passing brand and price. It's giving me an error. Let me save it. Still it is giving me an error. Let me go and check in iProduct repository. There is an error here. Remove product not found exception. Guys, here I made one mistake. See, price should be less than question mark 2. If you give equal to, if that particular product is not available, you will not get any output also. This is about custom query. We have completed the repository part. We have completed the implementation part. Now we will go to the main class. Let us call the two methods. First one is get by category. Product service dot get by cat by passing the category. Let me give the category name as electronics. We'll call the next method also. Product service dot get by brand price less than. Let me give the brand name as Samsung. Price less than 30,000. Let me check in the table. Samsung 2000 only I am having. In Camelin I am having the cost as 200 and 120. So let me use Camelin and I will give price less than 150. Okay guys, let me scroll it up. So I am adding two more products here. Now let us comment these two. Get by brand and price. Let me run this. Maximize the console. Oh, I am getting an error. I am getting an exception as no argument for ordinal parameter question mark 1. Scroll it down and identify your class if it is available. Here I have product service impl.java. Let me click on this. Product repository.get by brand and price less than. So this is the method. Let me click on this. Let me check whether I have made any mistake. I doubt this and only. Sometimes you will get an error like this. So in that case, either you can add it in 2 lines or you can use text block which was introduced in Java. If at all you want to add a paragraph or multiple sentences, earlier you need to concatenate using plus symbol. But now you can use triple quotes like this. One more. Enter. Within this you add your query. Control X. Add it over here. No need of adding plus. And this also. While using text block, your starting and ending quotes should be in a separate line. As far as my knowledge, I don't see any errors over here. So let me try it out again. Let me go to the main class. We have added these two lines. Remember to comment it, or again it will add the products. Let me run this now. Now it is coming. See, sometimes this error happens, but whatever we have done is correct only. You can write it in one single line. If it is not able to recognize, add this in multiple lines within text block. When you are using this text block, that is this triple quotes, add the triple quotes in separate lines. That is the starting and ending triple quotes in separate lines. Okay, very good. Get the list of products where the brand is Camelin and the price is less than 150. Let us also try it for Samsung. That is why I added Samsung. Let me add Samsung. Price is less than 10,000. So this is my table. I am having 4 products with brand Samsung. This time I should get 3 rows. Let us check it out. Save and run. Okay. Very good. So this is how you work with custom query. Now let us move on to the next category. Let me open iProduct service. We are going to use native query. Native query is way too simple. If you know to write SQL queries, go to iProduct repository. Now we are working with native query. This means your SQL query. And in this case also, method name can be anything, but it should be annotated with @query with attributes. So what is it we will see now? The first method is get by lesser price. No throws keyword. The second method is get by category and name. That is and name containing. Maybe let me have it as get by cat name contains. And remove the throws keyword. Very good. Now add @query annotation. This time let us add attributes. This @query annotation has so many attributes. In this case, we will be using value attribute where we will be passing the native SQL query. If I pass a query over here, Spring Framework will assume that it is JPQL only. So I need to inform Spring that this is a native query. So use the second attribute, that is native query, equal to true. Now let us write the SQL query. Get by lesser price. So our SQL query looks like this. Select star from product where cost is less than (1). Guys, remember, it is not price, it is cost, because the column name is cost. We have used native SQL. It is way too simple. Let us write the query for the next method also. I will copy this and I will modify it. In this case also, let us use text block only. Let me press enter. Within this triple quotes, we need to add the query. Control X, Control V. Now here, select star from product where category equal to ? And product name containing. So I have to use wildcard like %?2%. It's giving me an error. We will find it out what it is. From comma, I will add it to the next line because text block ending should be in separate line. Let me add single quotes and see what is happening. Okay, let it be. If we are getting an error, we will come and modify it. Let me save this. I will go to product service IMPL. Let us write the logic for these two methods. Only one part you need to change. That is calling the method in repository. Get by lesser price. by passing price. And in this case, get by cat name contains by passing category and product name. Now let me go to the main class. We will comment this. We will call the methods of native query. Get by lesser price. The method is get by lesser price by passing the price. Maybe I can pass it as 30,000. The first one. And the second one is get by category product name contains. Let me call the method get by category name. Let me give the category as electronics and name contains. So let me have it as phones. Okay, let me run it. We had an error there. Let us see what is happening. The error is thrown to the console. Unknown column product name in where class. Very good. I made a stupid mistake. Let me go to iProduct repository. In this case, I told you when you are using native query, this should be the column name. But I forgot it here. My column name is product underscore name. So let me go and modify it here. Product underscore name. Let me save it. I'll rerun the application. Maximize the console. Still I am getting this error. Product with this brand and price not found. The method is get by category name. I didn't change the method name. Let me go and click on this. Get by category name contains. Oh, the error message only is wrong. Product with this price not found. Product with this category and name not found. Let me go here. What is the mistake? The first one is we made mistake in this. The second one you notice here, it should be equal to question mark 1. And I am not also getting product name. I should get it right. So we will do a workaround. I will remove this quotes and percentage. Now I am getting product name. But I want to get the list of products where the category is electronics and the name contains phones. So what can I do? I'll go to product service IMPL. While passing the product name, I will add percentage. If you have worked with SQL, you might be knowing it. Passing the wildcard patterns. Select star from product where product name like percentage phones percentage. So I am adding that percentage part over here. So when it is coming to the repository, the value of product name will be percentage phones percentage. So this is a wildcard. Automatically it will be executed. Let me save this. Now let us run it. Let me maximize the console. This time we are getting the output. Earphones, headphones, headphones. Okay, for electronics. All set. We have completed the native query. We will finally move on to the named query. Let me copy these two methods. Go to iProduct repository and add the method. Remove the throws keyword. Change it to list of product. Okay, this time it is named query. In this case also, the method name can be anything and it should be annotated with query with attributes. Now for this, we need to create the query. The query should be first added in the model class above the class name. Let me go to product class. Above the product class, let me add the query at named query, within which we need to use two attributes. First one is the name of the query, get products by brand. You can give any name you want, comma. The second attribute is the original query itself. Guys, this is named query. So you have to use JPQL. If this is named native query, you need to write SQL query, native SQL query. Now let me write the query from product P where P dot brand is equal to question mark 1. Suppose if you want to write multiple named queries for this class, you can use at named queries annotation. You can also see an example which is given over here. Give the name for your query and write the query itself. Whether it is a named query or native query, you need to decide. Let me click on the next one. It is named queries. Named queries is a list of named query. Go to the repository. Now let me call that add query, add the attribute. In the previous case we used value and native query. Here it is one single attribute, that is name. And what is the query name? In product class we have given the query name as get products by brand. Pass it. That's all. We don't have to add the query here because it is already written. Now similarly we need to write for get by category and price less than. Go to the product class, add named query, name equal to, I'll copy, get by category and price less than. Get by cat price, comma, query equal to from product P where P dot category equal to question mark 1 and P dot price less than question mark 2. This is our query name. Go to iProduct repository, add at query annotation and pass the name attribute with the value. This is done. That's it. Okay. We have created the query in the model class, giving a name for it and passing that query name in at query annotation. Now again go to product service IMPL, call these two methods. So the first method is get product by brand. Get product by brand by passing brand. You can give any method name. I copy pasted it from service layer, so I have given this name. If you want to give a different name also, it is fine. Get by category price less by passing category and price. Okay. So the service implementation is also done. Let me save all. Now let me go to the main class and I will call the last two methods. If the exception messages are not proper, please modify it. Get by brand. So the method is get products by brand. Then the next one is get by category and price less. Get by cat price less by passing the category and price. I will comment the previous two methods. Now let us run this. Let me maximize the console. Okay, very nice. I have got the output. Get the list of products by brand Samsung. The next one is get the list of products by category electronics and price less than 40,000. Yeah. So we have completed all the methods for querying the database. One last part which I want to tell you is in product service interface, we have got add product, update product. So change it to product DTO. Okay. Leave delete product, it is not an issue at all. Get all product should return me a list of product DTOs. And get by ID also should return a product DTO object. The moment I change here, it will give me error in the implementation class. So go to the implementation class, scroll up. This is from yesterday's application. So do it in the end. Now pass product DTO object. This is product DTO. I need to get the product object. Product is equal to mapper dot convert to entity by passing the product DTO object. Same thing we will do it for the second method also, for update product. Okay. Delete product, you can leave it. Get all products. The return type is list of product DTO, and in this case I need to get it as list of products. I will have to call the second method, right? Convert to DTO list. Then return product DTO list. And finally the last method, this has to return product DTO object. If the value is present, get the product. Product is equal to. Now after that, using the method of mapper dot convert to DTO by passing the product. Return. Finally, let me go to the main class. Now this time, remember, you are not supposed to use product. You need to create a product DTO object. So I will add the instructions over here. Create only product DTO objects to call add product and update product. And let me scroll it down. Product service.getById should return product DTO object. Remaining things are all same. Okay guys, finally we have completed the full application where we have learned to perform CRUD operation with the database from a Spring Boot application and also querying the database from a Spring Boot application. This application would have taken so much of time for you, but try to complete all the methods. Even if you are getting an error, you can share your errors in the WhatsApp group. This is a community. There are many people who can help you out. Number 1. Number 2. After you have completed this product application, choose a domain model of your choice. If you want, I can share the domain models in the WhatsApp group. Maybe you can have it as hotel, restaurant, student, employee, doctor, PG rooms. So many examples are there. Once I give the options, you can create your own instance variables and you can try all these functionalities. I hope this is clear. We have successfully completed the data-jpa module. Tomorrow we will be starting with Spring MVC. Let us learn, code and grow together. Thank you.